DC Animation, as we all know, they've had a hell of a lot of good ones, and recently they have had a slight lull. Mm-hmm. You know, and not like, oh man, that was unwatchable piece of shit, but like a slight lull. So they're bringing it back now. They've got their slate for 2019 announced, and that includes Wonder Woman Bloodlines, which will be the first animated Wonder Woman movie since the 2009 one. Which is very good. That's one of my favorites. Oh, yeah. That's in my top 4 or 5. I'm excited for that. Yeah. So another Wonder Woman animated movie. Justice League versus the Fatal Five. And, of course, the Part 2 to Death of Superman, which we still have yet to see. But, Alex, what's the one in question we're talking about that's got us all excited? Hold your horses, okay? Why don't you calm yourself? I can't. Say it. Oh, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done. You're not done talking it up? Asking the question. Let me... The food is great. Asking the question. The food is great. Oh, it's great. I love the food. Let me finish asking the question. Anyway, so God damn it, you fucking threw me off. Okay, sorry. Where were we? Right. Reign of the Supermen, which is Part 2 to Death of Superman. So jury's still out because we still got to see the first part. Looks pretty rad. It does. But most importantly, we've got the mother of all animation adaptations. Robert and I have discussed this many times, how we wish it would happen. Yeah. And it's finally going to happen. One of the greatest of all Batman's arcs, if not maybe the greatest. Well, personally to me, at least. Mm-hmm. Batman Hush is getting an animated adaptation, and it will be out in 2019. Where do I even start? Yeah, man. I remember, like, I was like, holy shit, they're doing it. And I remember going back to you, like, some of our conversations, I can't remember how many times we're like, how fucking dope would a Batman Hush movie be? Like an animated Hush movie, or even a live action one. But animated was one that I was counting on, because that happens. But and they even got to some of the weird Batman stories first. Like, I would have imagined them doing Hush before Dark Knight Returns or Gotham by fucking Gaslight, which is also good. That was a really good one. Yeah, but like, I'm shocked that it took them this long to do it, but boy, am I fucking glad they are. I'm really glad they're doing this too, especially because Hush is the perfect example when everyone says, well, you need to have a big book with lots of crossover and like 800 deaths and all this dumbass like body swapping and multiple Earths. It's like, no, here was a perfectly good story where, in fact, spoiler alert, they actually used the, oh, so-and-so's back from the dead as a ruse. Yeah. And guess what? It's still awesome. It's all street level, pretty much. Yeah, it's all street level. It's just like, you know, fucking Catwoman didn't body swap with one of her pet cats and like have a cat brain and just go like, meow, yeah, no. Like she was, I'm Selena Kyle, I'm Catwoman, let's keep it at that. Batman's Bruce Wayne. It's like, it was one of my favorite stories because it was like, no, let's pump the brakes. We can still tell new and good stories. Yes. That don't have to do ridiculous shit that's just designed as a gimmick. It's one of my, well, spoilers for the comic, I guess. It's been fucking 16 years. Get on it. Yeah. God, like, seriously, you haven't read... Come on, guys. You haven't read Batman Hush? You're such a loser. One of the only graphic novel, or one of the only arcs where, like, you find out at the end that the Riddler is the big bad. Yeah. Kind of a neat little thing. And gotta give Eddie Nigma his little time to shine. And I like that in Hush. That's what I'm saying. It gives a lot of people time to shine. You get some badass fight scenes. You get a really good Batman-Superman battle. Yes. Oh, man. There's so much... Oh, man, I'm just thinking about that. Thinking about them animating that. It's going to be amazing. That scene where he almost kills Joker in that alleyway in, like, the rain. Right. It's kind of weird how that echoes the Alan Moore killing Joke scene, because I think he almost strangles the Joker in that scene. And you also get some help from the Bat family, Huntress. Oh, yeah, man. You know, Batman takes a spill, and she's there to pick him up off the ground because he's almost dead. I'm interested to see the casting for this. I wonder who they cast as Tommy Elliott. Tommy Elliott? Yeah. Or Batman, even. I know he's our cliche guy to cast for crazy people. Sam Rockwell. Tommy Elliott, why not? Oh, my God, I love it. Oh. So that's happening. I do have one concern, though.
Oh, yeah?
One slight concern. A big part of what makes Hush great, especially since there is one slight plot flaw.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a nitpick, but it annoys the hell out of me every time I read it. But I overlook it. You want to know why? Because that art is brilliant.
Oh, Jim Lee, man.
Jim Lee, absolutely, hands down, my favorite comic book artist of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote my favorite comic ever. He drew my favorite comic ever. The Mutant Genesis arc of X-Men, also known as the best comic of all time. It is also the highest selling single issue of all time, so it's just a fact that it's the best.
Yeah, man.
Therefore. Anyway, his artwork is so brilliant. I wonder how the hell they're going to translate that to animation.
God, I forgot about that.
Unless they've been working on this movie for like 12 years, basically since the comic they've been working on the movie too.
And it looks like the greatest fucking thing ever made.
Oh, that'd be good. But I'll say this. A good example of when they made the art transfer pretty well was Public Enemies.
Yes.
It was reminiscent enough of Dexter McGinnis's drawings.
Yes.
It looked good. That's my one concern.
I really hope they don't go the Killing Joke route, where I thought the animation in that
looked kind of bad.
It looked kind of cheap, too much. There were scenes that looked fine, but that is one thing I will say about the Killing Joke. That's you can't fuck that up. It's Brian Boland's art is incredible. It's an incredibly drawn comic, and they fucked it up, I think.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do it with Jim Lee. I hope they don't do Jim Lee wrong, Alex.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what do you... Okay, here's the way to think of it. Which animated movie do you think's art style would be closest to what you would imagine a Hush adaptation to look like?
Have they done a Jim Lee one yet?
Have they done a Jim Lee one? Not that I'm aware. Or I don't fucking know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. So let's just say no for now.
I think it's just it wasn't that the Brian Boland look didn't come through in the Killing Joke. It was the animation itself the movement was effed up.
Yeah.
And they can pull off the look well. I mean, The Dark Knight Returns is unquestionably that looks like Frank Miller drew it.
But I mean, that's the thing though, is I feel like that art style translates to animation really well. Jim Lee's all about lines
and detail. Yeah.
Detail. He's really, really good with that.
Yeah. Man, I hope they can do it.
So that's why I'm asking. Do you think there's one that comes close to what Hush should look like? Off the top of your head?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I know.
Well, go ahead.
Or I'll let you go first.
Well, no, I was gonna say maybe there are a lot of old shit. I thought the what was that? Well, maybe. What do you think about Gotham by Gaslight? Looks okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Maybe not Jim Lee-esque, but it resembled what the comics kind of looked like.
Right. I was gonna say if I were to choose an art style that I think would suit Hush, I would say probably Assault on Arkham.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of the goddamn best.
Oh, it's really good.
That's really good. But I also think the character designs are I think that, yeah, you know what? I think that's pretty similar to Jim Lee's look. Because I think of the animated DCs, that had quite a bit of detail for being animated.
You know, it was one of my favorite ones ever.
What's that?
Was Batman Gotham Knight. Remember, the anime one with the three different stories in it.
There you go. Really... What if they do it anime style?
You know what is if it's as any good as you say Batman Ninja is.
No. See, Batman Ninja was.
I hope they don't take any liberties like they did with Killing Joke.
Oh man. Oh right. No. I told you it's all of a sudden the part where Tommy Elliott is chasing Harley Quinn. They end up as star-crossed lovers.
Right.
And then there's a part where Harley Quinn's like, it was only sex. What's the big deal?
Oh, no.
Friends and neighbors at home, if you haven't seen Killing Joke, there's a really awkward scene that felt out of place in it.
It's just a weird addition. It's
it felt very fanfic.
Yeah, a little bit. But
yeah.
Question for you. What's next? What would be the next Batman story for you to see as an animated movie? Because I got mine.
Is that a serious question?
What is it?
You know what it is.
Oh.
It'll absolutely never happen. Okay, but so before we move on, you'd agree Assault on Arkham is probably the best look?
I think it's the way to go.
or maybe Gotham by Gaslight, which I could also see because it was relatively detailed looking.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I like the lighting in Gotham by Gaslight,
if you will.
Yes, gaslit. Yes. Anyway,
I'm looking for. I hope they do a Long Halloween one.
Oh, right. We're talking about what would be our next choice. So yours would be Long Halloween, which I think.
I already know what yours is.
Yeah. Well. People at home listening.
Speaking of Frank Miller.
Yeah, speaking of Frank Miller, and since we did give a normie warning, so if you're not a normie, you probably know this one. I would love to see an adaptation of All-Star Batman and Robin.
Hey man, more Jim Lee.
Jim Lee. It's just like that would be the announcement, the look of like people's faces, like. Just like the blood draining out of them. They're just so mad. Just imagine that Comic-Con announcement. We're going to do All-Star Batman and Robin. The whole crowd is just silent.
I would love it so much. It's
just like, why wouldn't you want, a Batman who says, I'm the goddamn Batman.
Oh, man.
More on stuff like that later in the episode.
Yes. We'll be referencing that later.
Him making Robin, like, eat rats or something.
Making Robin cry.
Yeah, making Robin cry.
On the Batmobile ride home.
Why wouldn't you want an Irish bartender?
Black Canary. We got to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman.
Oh, no, that'd be the live action.
Oh, right. Oh, man.
See, again, we're thinking we're trying.
We're way too far ahead.
We're trying to dream realistically. We got to win them with the animated first, okay?
The animated movie has to sell out first.
The animation, yeah, it's gonna work, because people they don't understand the brilliance of All-Star Batman and Robin. They'll understand it when they get the animation. They're like, oh, now I get it. What a fool I've been.
Oh man.
Like, I didn't like it ironically. I really just thought it was pure art. And then the movie will come out, and it'll win the first
Oscar for comic book
Oscar
movie?
for best movie ever made.
I can only hope.
No, okay, I would love that. However, if we're being serious, although this would kind of be you'd have to have two parts for this. It'd be impossible.
No Man's Land?
Well, yeah, I'd say No Man's Land for sure.
Ooh, man, that'd be huge.
Fuck it. I'd rather that be a live action.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So in lieu of that, I will choose War Games.
Oh man, that'd be also really fucked. There's so many like massive arcs in Batman lore that I'm like, I'd love to see this, like Nightfall. I mean, we kind of saw that with Dark Knight Rises, but like ish.
Well, that's what I mean. I really don't need to see a Nightfall animated
because it's such a. Well, have we really ever gotten Azrael?
No, but whatever.
It'd be kind of neat.
He's kind of like a less annoying Adam Warlock,
right?
Like, yea, for I gaze upon thine foes.
He's like Adam Warlock, but like murders fools.
Yeah, he's like, yea, for I gaze upon thine enemy, and then I shall slice him to thine bits. like he's, you know what I mean? Like, where Adam Warlock's like, let me do twice as long of a monologue and never shut the hell up. And you're like, oh,
and not kill anybody.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll just zap him with my beam, and you're like, God, you're such a dork. I hate you. Yeah.
Man. War Games would be good.
War Games would be good. Long Halloween, I think, would work well in animation.
It would be kind of. I mean, that's like a detective story.
That's okay. That's the thing is, I say it'd work well to be animated because it's sort of slower, which is fine because again, it's more of a detective story than an action story.
Right.
But I wonder, it's like animation to me, like, usually should be about movement. I'm saying that'd be a good one to make. Like, if I were an animator studio and it's like between that and like War Games, I'm like, fuck, I want to sleep sometime in the next year.
Could you imagine being an animator for that and be like, all right, our next project's Long Halloween. Here's the graphic novel, gives it all the animators, and they're like, all right, this is the animation style I'm going to have to replicate. Sees Tim Sale's artwork. You're like, what the fuck is it?
That's true. Tim Sale, he's really good. He's
real good.
He's a stylized fella.
But it's different. It's a different style.
Yeah, it definitely is. So Hush is happening. Oh man.
Glory to God in the highest.
Yes. This might be my most anticipated DC animated film since probably, well, really since I saw the trailer for Arkham Assault. Mm-hmm. Assault on Arkham. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those fucking names. The one that was called Batman, but really it was Suicide Squad.
Right.
That one was rad.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one should be rad, too, I'm hoping.
I'm hoping this is really rad. So here's to hoping that Batman Hush is great, which will be coming out in 2019, along with the Wonder Woman, Bloodlines, Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which I'm sure will just be fine, and Reign of the Supermen. So that does it for animation news.